You've been afraid of what will happen if you let yourself feel it. That if you start crying, you won't stop. That if you let it in, it will swallow you whole. But you've never actually tested that. You just assumed the worst and kept the door locked. That fear has been running things for a long time, maybe your whole life. It sits at the edge of every moment that gets too tender, every conversation that goes too deep, every quiet evening when there's nothing left to distract you. You feel it start to rise, that pressure behind your eyes, that tightness in your throat, and something in you slams the brakes, changes the subject, picks up the phone, finds something to do. Anything but this. Because you have a story about what sadness will do to you. A story that says once you go there, you might not come back. That the grief is too big. That the tears, once started, will flood everything. So you've built your life around avoiding it, around staying one step ahead of it, around being functional enough, busy enough, strong enough that you never have to find out what's on the other side of that door. But here's the thing. You don't actually know what's on the other side. You've imagined it, you've feared it, you've constructed an entire mythology around it. But you've never let yourself go there long enough to see what actually happens. Let's talk about what you expect. You expect collapse, total, irreversible collapse. You imagine that if you stop holding it together, you'll fall apart in a way that can't be undone, that you'll be reduced to something helpless and broken. You expect it to last forever, that the sadness once felt will take permanent residence, that you'll get stuck in it, that you'll become it. You expect it to take you out of your life, that you won't be able to function, that you'll miss work, cancel plans, lose days, that the people around you will see you as weak, unstable, too much. You expect to be alone in it. This one is the deepest. You believe, without words, that sadness means isolation, that no one wants to witness your pain, that if you let it show, people will pull away. These beliefs aren't random. They came from somewhere, from moments when your sadness was too much for the room, from people who didn't know how to hold space, from being small and overwhelmed and learning that tears didn't bring comfort, they brought silence or dismissal or something worse. So you made a decision, long before you could articulate it. Sadness is not safe. Do not go there. And you haven't. But what if everything you believe about sadness is based on a child's experience, not an adult's reality? Here's what actually happens when you let yourself feel it. It's slower than you think. Sadness doesn't crash over you like a wave. It seeps in. It rises gradually, like water filling a room from the floor up. You feel it in your body before you feel it in your mind. Heaviness in your chest, a weight behind your eyes, a slowing down of everything. Your body gets tired, not sleepy, heavy, like gravity has increased just for you. You want to lie down, not to sleep, just to stop holding yourself up. The tears, when they come, aren't the explosion you feared. They're quieter. Sometimes just a few, sometimes more. Sometimes they surprise you, showing up when you didn't expect them, in response to something small, a song, a memory, a single sentence that lands differently than it should. And here's the part no one tells you. There's a bottom. You thought it was a bottomless pit, that once you started falling, you'd fall forever. But it's not. It's more like a bowl. You go down, 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 and then you reach a place where the descent stops, where there's nowhere deeper to go. And you're still there, still breathing, still yourself. You didn't disappear. You didn't break beyond repair. You just felt it. Your body knows how to do this. It's known all along. Sadness isn't a malfunction. It's a process, a sequence, something your nervous system is designed to move through, if you let it. When you stop fighting, the body takes over. The chest softens, the breath deepens. The muscles that have been clenched for days, weeks, years, they start to let go. You might feel shaky. You might feel hollow. You might feel like you've just run a marathon, even though you've barely moved. That's not weakness. That's release. The tension you've been carrying has been using energy, enormous amounts of energy, to hold back the tears, to keep your voice steady,
to maintain the appearance of being okay. When you finally stop spending that energy, the exhaustion you've been outrunning catches up, and it's profound. The kind of tired that sleep alone doesn't fix. The kind that asks you to be still, to stop doing, to just exist for a while. This is what healing feels like at first. Not better, just less held. Something that was stuck is finally moving. But there's a reason you've avoided this, a reason that goes deeper than the fear of tears. You weren't just afraid of sadness, you were afraid of being sad alone. Think about the times in your life when grief felt unbearable. Chances are it wasn't just the emotion itself, it was the absence of someone to witness it, to sit with you, to make you feel like you weren't disappearing. Sadness, when you're alone with it, truly alone, can feel like drowning, like being swallowed by something too big for one person to hold. That's not because sadness is inherently destructive. It's because sadness was meant to be communal. It was designed to bring people closer, not to isolate you. It's a signal that says, I need presence. I need to be seen. I need to know I still exist while I fall apart. But if every time you were sad, no one came, or worse, someone made it about them, you learned that sadness means abandonment, that showing pain pushes people away, that the safest option is to carry it alone, in silence, where no one can leave you for having it. That belief is the real prison, not the sadness itself, the aloneness you've come to associate with it. Something shifts when sadness doesn't mean alone anymore. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't require someone to fix you or say the right thing. Sometimes it's just a hand on your back, someone sitting next to you without trying to change anything, a voice that says, I'm here, and means it. When sadness is witnessed, when someone stays while you feel it, the whole experience changes. The grief is still there, the tears still come, but there's a floor now, something holding you. You can let go because you're not falling into nothing, you're falling into presence. This is what you didn't get as a child. Not someone to make the sadness stop, but someone to be with you inside of it. Someone who wasn't scared of your pain. Someone who didn't need you to hurry up and feel better. And here's what's strange. Once you've felt that, once you've experienced sadness with someone who stays, you can start to do it for yourself. You can become the presence you never had. The one who doesn't leave when it gets heavy. The one who sits with you in the dark and doesn't rush toward the light. That's not the same as being alone. That's being accompanied by yourself. And then it passes. Not all at once, not dramatically, but eventually the wave recedes. The tears slow. The heaviness lifts, not completely, but enough. And in its place, there's something unexpected. Quiet. Not happiness, not relief exactly, just stillness. A kind of calm that doesn't need anything, doesn't want anything, isn't trying to get anywhere. Your mind slows down. The thoughts that were racing, the stories that were spinning, they settle like snow falling gently instead of swirling in a storm. You feel empty, but not in a bad way. Empty like a room that's finally been cleaned out. Empty like space you didn't know you had. There's a clarity there, a sense of being present that wasn't available before. You look around and things seem sharper, simpler. The urgency that drove you for so long is, for this moment, gone. This is what feeling regulation feels like. Not excitement, not joy, just okay. A quiet okay that doesn't need to be more than it is. But a lot of people feel this and think something went wrong, because the problem is still there, the loss is still real, the situation that triggered the sadness hasn't magically resolved. They let themselves cry, they felt the heaviness, they went to the bottom of the bowl, and then they looked around and thought, what was the point? Nothing changed. This is the misunderstanding. Sadness isn't a solution. It's not a strategy. It doesn't fix external circumstances. Its job is not to change your life. Its job is to move through your body. That's it. That's the whole function. The grief needed to be felt, not so your problems would disappear, but so the emotional pressure would release, so your nervous system could complete the cycle, so you could stop carrying something that was never meant to be stored. Your situation might still be hard, the loss might still hurt, but you're no longer holding it in a clenched fist. You've let it pass through. And that changes everything about how you carry it going forward. Sadness has a rhythm, a beginning, a middle, and an end. It rises, it peaks, it fades. But if you were never allowed to complete that cycle, if you were interrupted, shamed, or left alone every time it started, you never learned that it ends. You only know the beginning, the moment it starts to rise. And because you've never let it run its course, you assume it will rise forever, that it has no peak, no descent, no resolution. So you stop it before it can even begin. But emotions aren't static.
They're not permanent states you fall into and get trapped in. They're processes, waves. They move if you let them. The reason you fear sadness is because you've never experienced its full arc. You've only experienced the beginning, followed by suppression, followed by the pressure of everything you didn't let yourself feel. That's not sadness. That's interrupted sadness. And interrupted sadness is what builds up into all the things we talked about earlier this week: the anger, the explosions, the overwhelm. Completed sadness doesn't do that. Completed sadness ends, and something else begins. So here's what I want you to know. Sadness will not swallow you. It feels like it will. Everything in your body might scream that it will, but it won't. You are bigger than your grief, not because you're strong, but because grief is a visitor. It comes, it stays for a while, and then it goes. You've survived every wave so far, not by letting it move through you, but by holding it back. Imagine how much easier it would be if you stopped fighting. Not easier emotionally, the feeling would still be hard, but easier energetically. You wouldn't be spending your whole life clenching against something that just wants to pass through. You're not going to get stuck. You're not going to become your sadness. You're not going to cry forever. You're going to cry for a while, and then you're going to stop. And then you're going to be here, still here, a little lighter than before. You've been guarding against something that already happened. The unbearable sadness, the one you're afraid of, it isn't in the future, it's in the past. You already felt it when you were small, when you didn't have the capacity to hold it, when there was no one there to help you through. That was the moment that taught you sadness was dangerous. Not because sadness is dangerous, but because you were alone and overwhelmed and too young to know that feelings end. You've been living your whole life trying to prevent something that already occurred. And the door you've been guarding, it doesn't lead to future catastrophe. It leads to old pain, pain that's been waiting patiently for you to come back and finally feel it all the way through. It's not trying to destroy you, it's trying to complete itself. I'm not going to tell you to feel your feelings. I'm not going to give you steps or timelines or techniques, but I will tell you this. The sadness you've been afraid of is not your enemy. It's not a sign of weakness. It's not something to fix or overcome or manage. It's just sadness, human sadness, the kind every person feels when they lose something, when they're disappointed, when life doesn't turn out the way they hope. You're allowed to feel it, not because I'm giving you permission, but because it was never anyone else's to withhold. You don't have to be strong right now. You don't have to hold it together. You don't have to protect anyone from your tears. You can just feel it and see what happens. Not to fix yourself, not to break through to the other side, just to finally meet the part of you that's been waiting at that door for years, the part that's been holding all of this, the part that's exhausted. You can sit with them now. You can let them put it down. And whatever comes next, the tears, the quiet, the strange relief, you'll still be here. You've always been here. You just forgot that you could feel this and survive. You can. If this gave you something you needed to hear, consider staying. We're just getting started. Stop fixing. Start understanding.